A lot of the campaigners want nationalisation, and they say that your claim that it would cost £100 billion to renationalise water is untrue, because a lot of these companies like Thames Water is worthless.
Well, I'm afraid £100 billion is accurate. That is not a figure, I've heard the stories as well, that is not a figure that has come from the water companies. That is a figure that I had my officials in the Department of the Environment go and certify for me.
But those officials are claiming Thames Water, for example, is worth about £20 billion. Thames Water can't sell to anyone.
The value of a water company is a combination of their assets and their debt. The debt is owned by financial institutions in many cases, which can include pension companies. You can't just write off the debt or you are wiping out the value of people's pensions. You can't do that. The total value of nationalising the water companies would be £100 billion. In order to pay that, we'd have to strip it out of the National Health Service and education in order to give it to the owners of the water companies who have polluted our waterways. It makes no sense whatsoever to do that. Secondly, if we were to go through that process, it would require years of legal wrangling to unpick the current ownership model, and during that time the water companies would not invest a penny more in upgrading our crumbling sewage pipes, so sewage in our waterways would get worse. So it would cost the public more, it would lead to higher levels of pollution, it would ultimately lead to higher bills, and in any case it's not guaranteed to work, and we know that from looking north of the border, where in Scotland they have a nationalised water company, but pollution levels in Scotland are worse than they are in England. I'm going to focus on doing what will keep bills down and clean up our water. I'm not going to focus on ideology.